to Soul Space with Georgia Rose. I am your astrologer and also psychic intuitive. Never know what's going to happen in the soul space. People call in the show live, they comment, we go off on tangents. We have all kinds of fun here. So I'm just going to take a minute to share my show. And I love to share the show because part of what we're building here in the soul space is community. And I need your collaboration in order to have a community. So I love it when you comment and call in and we do the show together. It's always so much fun. So I am just going to copy and share the show on a few different places. And if you feel comfortable doing that, I'd love it if you did that too. And of course, if you call in and you give me your birth date, I can actually look up your chart really quick and give you like a 5-minute astrology reading. And tonight we're going to talk about the new moon in Taurus. So if you give me 1 minute to just keep sharing the show, I'm going to say hi to everybody. Give everybody a few minutes to get on in. Okay. There we go. So we have a new moon in Taurus coming in actually tomorrow, May 7th. Happens kind of late here in the New York area. We have it at 11 o'clock at night. But that's okay because it's happening all over the world. So wherever you're from, we're going to enjoy a new moon in Taurus together tomorrow. So I hope you're all having a great week. I'm just going to look on here and see who's piling into the soul space. I've got quite a few people on. I've got Claire on and Darlene, Michelle, Joanne. All right. So everybody come on in. As you share the show, I know we'll get more people on. So I want to talk a little bit tonight about Taurus energy. Taurus is a fixed sign. It's also an earth sign, which is good. But we also have, I'm just going to switch gears a little bit here because we also have a lot of planets in Taurus right now. And I want to just tell you which ones those are. I'm going to look at my chart here of the moment. Bobby just put up the clock for me. So I hope you all enjoyed it last week. I was on Tea Time with Teresa Farrell. She is the show that comes on right after me here in Paradise Studios. And Teresa and I have gotten to be friendly because usually I'm going in and she's coming out, or I'm coming out and she's going in during the show. And we've been wanting to have me on each other's shows for a long time. So we'll probably have Tea on my show in a few weeks if she's available. She's actually an actress, so she oftentimes is not in the area. And, you know, she's always trotting around the globe. All right, so here's my chart of the moment. So right now we have heading to Taurus or in Taurus already. We've got a pile up of planets in Taurus. We've got the Sun, Mercury, the Sun, Venus, Uranus, and Jupiter all in Mercury. Uranus is starting to head towards Gemini, which it will be May 20th. And we've also got quite a few planets still in that Aries area. Right now we have Chiron, which is the planet of our healing, meeting up with Mercury in Aries, and the moon is right there this day. We'll be in Taurus tomorrow. But that's creating an energy where sometimes our wounds or the things that we're really sensitive and vulnerable about can come to the surface. So it may, the last couple of days, been a little tough for some of us, but I think you guys can definitely handle it. And then, of course, we have the Sun in Taurus, we have Venus right there, and we've got that Jupiter and Uranus conjunction. They're sitting on the same place in the zodiac. We talked about that energy a lot this week. So I want to open up with the Taurus energy and what that feels like. And then from there, I'm going to tell you guys what to expect for the new moon in your particular charts. How does that sound? So let me go back to my Facebook page so I can see all of you guys and your comments and I can chat with you. And if anybody wants to call into the show tonight, Bobby will put the number up on the screen for me, my wonderful producer. Hi, Joanne Amaya. You're saying your birthday is Friday. Okay, well, happy birthday to all the Tauruses out there. So let's talk a little bit about Taurus energy. So Taurus is the sign of the bull, right? So it's a fixed energy. Some people in a descriptive way can say that Taurus is stubborn. I don't like to use negative, but maybe you're a little tenacious if you're a Taurus. Taurus is an energy that is very fixed. It's one of the fixed signs of the zodiac that's also an earth sign. So I always use the analogy, if you've ever tried to move a bull, it's a little difficult, right? So people who are Taurians or have a Taurus sun, moon, or rising oftentimes can be a little hard to push. You know, they can be a little hard to sway. They're pretty set in their convictions, set in their ways. I always say, and some of you probably already heard me say this, I always say, if a Taurus wants to go to dinner, everybody in the house is going to dinner. If a Taurus doesn't want go to dinner, nobody's going to dinner. They always seem to get their way, right? With their sheer, um, fixedness. So that's kind of the pop description of Taurus. When you think about, oh, Tauruses are stubborn, but there's also a lot of other attributes that Tauruses can have. One of the things that I love about Taurus energy and about this new moon is if you've been thinking of planting a garden and you did gardening this past weekend or in the next few days, you are probably going to have a really abundant garden, because Taurus is a sign when you plant seeds, they really are nurtured because it's earth and it's abundance and it is strong roots and stability. So if you're going to have any planting to do, I would do it the next couple of days up until I'd say maybe Thursday or so, when the moon would probably be a little void, of course. But definitely plant some seeds. Make sure you're taking care of your plants. So Taurus is also an energy of our resources, both in the world. It's food, it's money, it's the things that we value and the things that we need for our own stability. And Bobby, if you could just shut off the lights that are in the front window over here. And so there's like blinking lights in my face. It's from one of the other sets. So Taurus is our resources. It's money, it's food, it is our stability as far as earthly things, but it's also our resources within us. So this new moon is a great time to manifest and set up seeds of our own, of the things that we want to manifest in terms of our own resources and our own personal stability, such as money, finances, food, and the food that we intake. So if you want to start a diet or a health plan, now is a great time, because the Taurus energy will really support you in that. And it's funny because I always say that we intuitively go with the energy. When I was on social media today, I saw a lot of people talking about dieting and their lifestyles and things like that. That's such Taurus energy. And you'll find that if you start to really follow the moon cycles, you will absolutely find that, I'm sorry, somebody just was in the studio doing something funny. I have a comedy show in front of me today. No, I'm okay. Nobody else is, but I'm fine. Okay, so you never know what's going to go on here at Paradise Studios. As a matter of fact, on Thursdays and Fridays, you can actually come down here and see some shows live. We do some bands and things like that. So anyway, so getting back to Taurus and our resources, it's a great time to plant your seeds if you want financial stability or if you want to do a diet. And like I was saying, I always see, once I start to follow the moon cycles or just the general energy that's around, you'll see with social media or your everyday conversations, it will start to emulate or correlate to the energy that's out there. Like today I went on and everyone was talking about their food and their money. And I'm like, yeah, it's a Taurus new moon. That's why. So great time to manifest those intentions, and also for the future, because Taurus is a future-oriented energy. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Ooh, planet of love, right? Everyone thinks of Venus as the planet of love. But Venus is also the place in our charts and the place, the energy of our value system and our self-preservation and the things that we want and need and are attached to. I can actually tell when I read a chart for somebody, depending on where their Venus is by house and sign, what their needs will be in a relationship and the way they like to be nurtured. That's Venus in the chart. Venus will also tell us, because of those needs and wants and desires, that I can tell what you will project in relationships. So when you think about Taurus ruled by Venus, it's also an energy of self-preservation. Taurus, our resources, food, money, it's the area in our lives where we feel that we need to do and have certain complexes and run certain scripts in order to preserve ourselves and preserve our survival. So Taurus is a lot about survival. It's in a typical zodiac, a second house. And the second house is where we have our value systems and the things that we feel that we need to work on self-preservation wise to survive. Like maybe we were brought up with a conditioning that we feel we should be seen and not heard, right? A lot of kids grow up with that. So now in your life, you have this self-preservation mechanism where you don't want to talk because you feel if you talk, you'll be criticized. Or if you are too loud or too heard, that it won't be a good energy. That's a self-preservation complex that we can run. I know for myself, I run a lot of self-preservation complexes to do with money. And one of the lessons in my life was I had to really learn respect for money. And in my lifetime, I've had a tremendous amount of money, and I've had no money, and then tremendous amounts of money. And now I have a very balanced amount of money in my life because I respect it and I understand the exchange of it. That's a very Taurian thing. The same thing with food. Do you overeat or undereat? You know, survive. What's your survival mechanism? Are you into the fasting that people do when they have intermittent fasting? You know, that's a deprivation factor that you're teaching your body to learn how to be in deprivation. Very Taurian thing that you really don't want to do. That would be the dark side of a Taurian energy. I'm preserving myself by not allowing myself to eat. Another side of a Taurian energy could be you fear you fear starvation or you fear famine. So now you overindulge and you eat a tremendous amount. So it's all about our survival mechanism and how that plays out, what the scripts we run. That's Taurus. And that's why Taurus is a fixed energy, and it's very stubborn, and it's very rooted in earth, because it's about our survival. And if we feel our survival is threatened, what do? We dig in, right? We're really going to root ourselves in whatever our survival mechanism is. And we can't look at an energy in the zodiac without looking at its opposite energy. The archetypes and the signs in the zodiac don't work in singular motion. They're all interdependent and interfacing all the time. Your chart is dynamic. It's always moving. So the opposite of Taurus is Scorpio. And Scorpio in the chart is death. It's transformation. It's attachment. So the actuation of Scorpio in our lives and our energy is learning to live life through death. Something decays, the leaves fall off the tree, they go in the earth and they bring new life. That's Scorpio. And Taurus is about survival and self-preservation. So you can see the link, right? One is death and attachment, and the other is self-preservation and survival and attachment. So that's why Taurus is known as the area in our chart where we have our value systems, because we attach to something meaningful that is a value. We don't have no attachment to values. Values are an attachment. It's a very Taurus, Scorpion kind of integrated energy. So what's the highest octave of Taurus energy? It's balancing those two things, learning that there is no permanency in life, and that our rigidness, our stubbornness, and our fixatedness is really kind of a moot point, because we're always changing. Nobody gets out of here alive. Well, we may have times when we feel we have to fight for our survival. Our survival really isn't dependent on an external force from the other, right? Our survival is dependent on how we use our own internal resources. And that's why in this new moon, it's a great time to set your intention and your seeds for the things that you want to bring into your own survival and your own safety, so that you're not depending on others in relationship for your own self-preservation. You're not depending on outside forces to give you food or money. You're creating resources within yourself that bring those things to you. And that's part of the survival and the rootedness in earth that Taurus is about. So it's really about preserving our own resources from within, knowing I will always have enough because I'm capable of getting that for myself, that I know what enough is. I know what nourishment for the body feels like. I know what abundance for my mind and my soul feel like. And it's only when we can be in those type of places, run those kind of scripts in our head, and be in those relationships that support us, have careers or jobs or things that we do that support us in a soulful way and bring abundance into our life, so that we're not worried or fearful about stability or finances and those things. When our life is really imbalanced, that's when we can really get in touch with our higher self, when we really come into that soul space, because we're liberated and we're free to do it. So something as simple as a Taurus energy, which is about our self-preservation and our survival, if we really meditate on it and think about it, ask yourself during this new moon, where are the places in my life that I can create more of a dependency on my own resources, my own natural unique abilities, in order to bring me the things that I want, desire, and value in my life, right? So maybe you have a situation where you don't have a lot of friends. You seem to not be able to keep friends, but yet you have a need for, your value system is that you want friends. Well, maybe during a new moon in Taurus, it's time to go within, especially with Pluto in retrograde, and think about, what do I need to change in order to be a good friend or have better friends? what is it that I'm not relying on within myself? Am I relying too much on the consensus of what friendship should be and hang out in places that really don't, resonate with me? Or maybe you're having issues with finances and you have a lot of fear around scarcity and not having enough. And you're coming from a lack mindset. Well, in a Taurus new moon, it's a great time to go within and say, where is this really coming from? I do really have enough. How much do I really need? My life can be simplified. And where is this fear really coming from? Scorpio, the Taurus axis, is where that fear will be attached to something. So that's really what it's about. It's about we're going to feel our attachments to our value systems, what's meaningful for us in our life, the things we cling to for self-preservation. And where is that energy correct and where is it incorrect? Where can the energy be better used to understand, no, I can strengthen myself from within and use my resources better than I have been. So it's a really interesting time. Some people will think a Taurus new moon, you'll read a lot of things and see a lot of things on, social media and in YouTube and stuff. Astrologers will come on and say, oh, it's about money, it's about food. And, and it is all those things like I began the program with. But it's also really about going within, especially when we have a Pluto retrograde. Because Pluto in retrograde, where it is now, heading back to a Capricorn, is all about our stability. It's all about what can we do? What is our soul's intention and desire for us to bring us into the highest aspect that we can live, to feel safe and secure and abundant and reliant on ourselves. I remember years ago when I was first going through some processes and some past life regression therapies. One of the things that I did, I had to go back to my childhood and, have conversations with the little girl in me. And one of the things they teach you is that you have always taken care of yourself and you always will take care of yourself. So you're really okay because haven't you been taking care of yourself your whole life in one way or another? Now, you may have someone who helps you in the material world or who is a mentor to you, and that's wonderful. But at the end of the day, you really are responsible to do all those things. And I remember one time, a long time ago, when I was in a very, very tough place in my life. I was really fighting a lot of grief and I had a tremendous amount of loss all at once. And I had started to do yoga, and my yogi, Jackie, who will always have the most beautiful place in my heart, I walked into the yoga studio one day and we were just getting ready for class. And I said to her, Jackie, you saved my life. And she said, no, I didn't. You saved your own life. And I was, kind of taken aback by that at the time. But now I use the same line with many people that say those things to me when I'm working with them, either in a coaching capacity or through their astrology or in a healing way. And it's true. At the end of the day, we take care of ourselves by making the right choices in our life, by making decisions about our health, by making decisions about what relationships we have and don't have, by setting ourselves up in our environments. Those are all our choices. So it's really us that provides our own stability through our resources. So that's Taurus in a nutshell. Provide your own resources and stability. So I'm going to check my comments and say hi to everybody. Oh, Jackie's on. See that? Jackie, I was talking about you and I didn't know you were on. And now I'm a little embarrassed. And hey, Aaron. Hey, Darlene. Hey, Joanne. I got Michelle. I said hi to. Sarah's on. Love me some Sarah. She's always so faithful. One of my best supporters. Dawn Elizabeth. We're going to do a reading together, Dawn. Stephanie. Kalanoff is on. The Kalanoff Connection. Marie Laverne. Good Monday evening to all. Oh, she's a Taurus. We have a lot of Taurus energy on. Definitely a rough weekend for Deneen. I think all of us felt that way. Mercury was meeting up with Chiron in the sky in Aries. Aries is a very forward-moving energy. It's the ram. It rushes in. Mercury is the mind, and Chiron is healing. So what I found this weekend was, for me especially, I had a couple of little breakthroughs where thoughts came into my mind about my own healing and some patterns that I need to work on in my life. And they came in very quick and made me take action on them, but it wasn't easy. So I'm wondering if that's kind of the energy that you guys all experience. Kim Murray, how are you, Kim? You got to send me your email because I know you want to stay in touch. Pauline, Pluto retrograde is in the first house in the natal chart, so this will be easier for my generation in Leo, though. Yeah, so Pluto retrograde in Leo. Your natural Pluto is in Leo. You're here to exist and show the world that you are light. That's that generation. Pluto retrograde in the first house is going to make you very introspective and thoughtful about your what you desire for yourself, what you desire as far as your own autonomy and independence. Um, so that's definitely one of the reasons you're here. You know, Pluto in the chart is our soul's desire and intention. In the first house, you are here for new direction in relationship, and that's your transformation, is to learn that. Um, Hi, Anne. How are you doing? You're not tardy. You can always watch the replay. And Darlene's a Taurus too, 5-5. Happy birthday. She just had it this weekend. I got Cheryl on. Elaine Risotto, Taurus is your moon. Oh, this is going to be a beautiful new moon for you. If you're planting a garden, plant it. And I mean that literally and also figuratively. And then I've got Aaron on. Aaron had breakthroughs this weekend, and she's been ruminating and pensive. Well, honey, that's because you got a lot of Aries energy in your chart. I know, because I've done your chart. And pensive on forgiveness. Okay, so forgiveness is going to be a running theme for the next few years, because forgiveness is very much, believe it or not, a Uranian and Aquarius thing, because it's liberating. And Pluto is in Aquarius, headed back to Capricorn for a few months, then back in Aquarius. But we have a lot of Aquarian energy. We're in the Aquarian times right now. Not the Aquarian age. That doesn't happen for another 1,000 years. But this is a time of a lot of Aquarian type of energy. And Pluto is still in Aquarius. So for you, Aaron, and for everyone, it's going to definitely, thoughts of forgiveness are going to come through, like big time. Like, I'm going to tell you guys some really personal stuff that happened this weekend for me, not involving anyone. Like, my most personal stuff happens when I'm home alone and no one's around, because it's all in my head, you know. It's like in my heart, in my head. I'm doing the work, going into the shadow knows. So this past weekend, I had like a little breakthrough. I realized that one of my needs in a relationship is to be recognized. And by that, I mean not just in like, oh, you're so wonderful. Oh, give me all the applause and awards. I don't really need that. Just be recognized in the way that I'm a person and I'm here. It's pretty basic stuff, right? But even in the last couple of years in my marriage, and I have a great marriage. I mean, I had a life that was a wonderful life for many, many years. I was very blindsided when my marriage ended, but that's one for the book. But even towards the end of my marriage, I used to say to my husband, you look at me like I'm a piece of the furniture. Like, what happened, you know? And so I think that happens in a lot of long relationships. But my point being is, one of my basic needs is I want to feel like I exist. And there are many reasons in my chart for that, as well as my conditioning from the environment that I grew up in. I'm the youngest of 5 children, grew up in a house with 8 people. I was, you know, the tag along, like nobody like really, you know, I was the kid they forgot to pick up at kindergarten because there was so many of us and there was a lot of people, and, you know, so I just grew up kind of tagging along everybody else. And so it's very important for me, my conditioning and also my soul's intention is to be seen in this world. So what I realized a couple of years ago and came to roost this weekend was, sometimes still when something happens or I'm in a little bit of a turmoil, it could be anything small. It could be I was having some work done on my house this weekend and I came home and it wasn't what I wanted. And there was another person with me, and I had like a moment, not anything dramatic or anything. I just said, oh, I have to make a decision here of whether we're going to keep going with this or whether I'm going to take it down and redo. And the person bolted on me. They're like, okay, well, I'm out of here. Like it was going to be some kind of a big deal. And in that moment, what I really needed was someone to just say, you know what, you work hard for your money. It should be spent the right way. You should get what you want. Just acknowledge me as a person, instead of acting like I was doing something wrong by saying, whoa, this really doesn't look the way I wanted it to look and what I asked you to do. And so that is a basic need for me in a relationship. I need somebody to kind of be on my side and just acknowledge me as a person. And so what I realized this weekend, and this was the breakthrough, was no one's ever going to do that. And I don't mean that in a really negative or woe is me way. What it is that whatever our essential need is in a relationship, as soon as we start projecting that into the relationship, like that person should do that for us, we're in big troubled waters. Because they're a different person. They have no idea what our need is. That is not their need, so they're not going to answer it. The puzzle piece isn't going to fit because they don't even know there is a puzzle piece there. So what do? Well, your soul wants you to heal that on your own. So what did I do? That person bolted. And I was like, that's kind of like leaving in a crisis, but it's not really a crisis, but okay. And I just stood my ground and I said, This really wasn't the look that I wanted. It was a tile wall. I said, this is supposed to have like different variations of color, and it's all one color. It's all very white, and that wasn't what I wanted. Where are the boxes of tiles? Because in the display, it didn't look like this, and I want it the way I want it. So myself and the contractor went out to the garage. We started digging through the other boxes. We found a box that was all darker tile. And we ended up with the wall the way that I wanted it. So I asserted myself, and I was seen by this contractor for someone that should be respected and understood and get what they want, because I'm in a position of agency. I'm in a position of, this is my project. That's what I require in my relationships, not just romantically, but friendships, everywhere. I just wanted people to understand, I'm here, I'm a person. I'm not better than you. I don't need more attention than you. I don't need to be singled out for attention. I just need people to know I'm alive and I exist, and I'm not doing anything wrong when I stand up for myself. So that was a huge breakthrough, because in relationship, I'm no longer going to look for somebody to shore me up or back me up or be on my side. I don't need anyone on my side. I need to be on my side. I need to know that in those moments when I am standing up and saying, no, this isn't right, I really would like it a different way. It's like being brave enough to send the steak back and not feel shameful or like you did something wrong or apologize for it. It's like that. But the waitress is never going to give you your pass. You have to give it to yourself. So, really basic stuff, but I think in relationship, that's really where it's at. What does this have to do with the Taurus new moon? Taurus is all about our needs, our values, our self-preservation. What are our basic essential needs in relationship to the world? How do we show up in the world with what we need? That's Taurus energy. So this weekend, when we had the planet of healing next to the planet of our minds in a sign that's like go, 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 we got breakthroughs. So I hope that explains it all for you, even though my story was a little bit drawn out. I hope that it, kind of gives you an example of that being a basic need. And, maybe you have a different need. Maybe your need is, I need to be heard. No matter what the other person does, you're not going to feel heard until you give yourself permission to be heard and you hear yourself. So are you hearing yourself? Because until you hear yourself, no one's going to hear you. It's just like someone with an abandonment issue. Everyone could promise you they're never going to leave, but you're not going to hear that. You have to know you're never going to leave yourself. And then you'll put that energy out there. So that's Taurus. It's meeting our essential needs, that second house energy, that ruler Venus, saying, what do you love? What do you need? Love yourself and give it to yourself. And then others will follow suit, because that's your energy. And like attracts like. So I hope I explained that. Fifth kid too, Sarah gets that. I always say, I grew up with 3 mothers and 3 fathers, actually 4 mothers, because my aunt lived with us that was like my mom. And so I'm like, it's so funny, even to this day, even at the well-ripened age that I am, if I call my brothers and sisters about anything, they're like, no, you can't do that. What do you think you're doing? Why would you do something like that? Like, they still talk to me like I'm like 10 years old or something. It's the funniest thing. Joanna Maya says, damn right, you should get what you want and you should get what you asked for. Exactly. But you see, we have these syndromes where we are like, the shame thing comes in. You grow up like I did in an Italian household. My dad was very strict. It's like, kneel on the floor. If your skirt doesn't touch, you're not leaving the house. And every time you do something that's not up to par or not received well, you immediately go into the, oh my God, I did something wrong. What did I do? What did I do? Oh my God, I can't show my face around here. That kind of thing. So it's pretty funny, but it's all in the chart. I can read your charts and I can tell you exactly what your basic need is. Pauline says Taurus in MC in 10th house. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, the MC in the 10th house. Neptune, Scorpio, 4th house. Oops, Pluto in Virgo in retro, but in 2nd house at birth. Okay, Pluto in your 2nd house means you have your desires. Pluto's intention in this lifetime is to self-preserve. So you are going to, with Pluto in your 2nd house, you're going to have that desire to self-preserve, and you're going to run scripts and mechanisms of either detachment or some kind of self-protection scripts in order to protect yourself. But what Pluto really wants you to do is break that conditioning and go into the world and know, like I've been saying on the show, you are okay within yourself and be able to have better relationships and put yourself out in the world. Taurus being your 10th house is that. It wants to break free of the restriction of self-preservation and allow yourself to go into the life direction that you were meant to do. So my question for you would be, the first question I would ask you if you were sitting across the table for a reading from me, I would say, how have issues of self-preservation revolved your direction in life? You know, when have you held back out of fear or not feeling safe enough to take the direction you really wanted to take? Sagittarius, feeling I need to voice what I want. Dawn Elizabeth. Sagittarians will always feel that way. I'm a Sag rising. I call the Sagittarius, even though it's the arrow, I call them the sheep of the zodiac because they're blurters. And I know this because I'm a Sag rising. We will blurt something out and not realize that we said it, or be like, oops, too late, you know? So if you have something that you really want to say, do some work on the throat chakra, because with the Sagittarian energy, you want to balance that so you don't become a blurter, you know? You want to be able to really say what you want, not saying it out of unprocessed anger or unprocessed emotion. And that's what we project into the world, is our unprocessed emotion. Just like, to give you back to the example of this weekend with the tile, and you know, the person that I was with in the house, you know, kind of abruptly left as soon as there was a little bit of a unsettled energy, let's say. That's my own unresolved emotion, wanting him to be different. That's because I have emotion in me that's unresolved. You know, just like when we feel we're not heard because we have unresolved emotion. The unresolved emotion is what we project in relationship. So if you feel like you really want to say something, it's because maybe you feel like you haven't been heard. So just make sure that you're balancing that energy so that you do simply state what you really want, and it's authentic to you. Because a lot of times when we hold things in, we end up being the blurters, and then that's really not what we want, and we feel even more misunderstood. Hi, Liz is watching. Monica is watching. Joanne says, not her. She always tells it like it is. You've got to have Aries energy in there. Donna Liz says, why shouldn't we get what we want? Always. So Michelle says abandonment issues. Yeah, I think a lot of us, it seems generational a little bit. A lot of people who have Pluto and Virgo, it's a generational planet. It stays in somewhere 20 years. Will have those abandonment persecution issues. A lot of abandonment happened, I think, also from that generation because our parents were post-war generation. And I think a lot of our parents ended up divorced when we were like teenage years. So there's that abandonment issues. And so I had abandonment issues in my life for many reasons, which were extreme. But what I can tell you is that you can't heal an abandonment issue through another person. I know that people who have abandonment issues will always want to have that perfect partner. Like you see these silly memes on Facebook about, oh, someday someone's going to hug you so tight they'll put your pieces together. No one's supposed to do that. You're supposed to hug yourself so tight that you have your own pieces together. Okay, no one needs to put us together. We're not Humpty Dumpty. All right, so I'm going to go through the signs so that you'll know exactly what house this new moon is working on for you. All right, just got to put my papers in order. Okay, my notes here. Okay, so if you are an Aries, the new moon in Taurus for you is going to bring up money matters. And so what you want to do is make sure that you are, and it could be something a little unpredictable with this new moon. So make sure that your money matters are balanced. Make sure if you do go shopping or anything like that, that you're giving yourself limits. You're not bringing the credit cards with you or the debit card with you. This will activate your personal finance house and your personal property house. So you can definitely, in this energy, if you have a good, healthy relationship with money, it is a great energy to start something new regarding a business or regarding a way to make money or earn money. But I would also be careful of being too indulgent, or maybe buying something that you feel will make you feel safe, or creature comforts that will make you feel better, and then you end up overspending on them. That's for Aries. But it definitely will bring you some benevolence and some luck, especially with if you're a realtor or any kind of home-based business or business with homes. It's definitely a great time for that. And also to improve your financial situation. If you're thinking of investing in something, like I would do something really safe, you know, like CDs or something that's fail-proof, because it can be a little bit of a unpredictable energy for Aries. So if you're definitely an Aries rising or Aries sun, you want to maybe do some meditation or introspection about your finances and how you can improve them and what you would like to start and the seeds you want to plant for better finances and more balance in your abundance. Taurus, this I'm going to tell you, trust your intuition here. This is all about your personal identity and development. So it's really about your needs, your hopes, your dreams, or your wishes in regard to you and your personal self, not so much others. Like this isn't like, oh, I want to take my mom on a cruise. It's what you really want. This is a great time to work on personal growth, especially with any kind of education, even if it's a course you want to do, or a night class, or something at the library, or something you want to read up on, or especially if it's spiritual in nature. You want to do Reiki or tarot, or you want to learn a certain thing, or maybe even go have a reading or an astrology reading. For Tauruses, this is great. Also for Taurus energy in this new moon, physical body, because it is an earth sign. You want to go out, exercise, move the energy. It's a great time to take a fitness class, maybe yoga, start a new physical changes. Like one of the things I do is, whenever I'm trying to do something, I treat it like a job. Like if I say I'm going to walk every day, I do it at the same time and treat it like I'm going to work. But seek areas where you can improve your own self, your body, your mind, your personal, physical, and mental development and education. This is about seeking help in areas where you can improve those things, maybe therapy or hypnosis or whatever floats your boat. For Gemini, there's always that one person in life who can't be happy if you're happy. And we always send them light and love, right? But there's always that one person that wants to rain on your parade a little bit. Well, the new moon in Taurus activates that house of like frenemies. But what I will say, Gemini, is this also can be spiritual awakenings. So many times in a sky like this, with energy like this, you will have something happen with friendships or relationships that can be a little unsettling, but it won't take you long to rebound from it, because you're going to realize that those things happened simply so that you know that there's energy around you that you shouldn't really have around you. So this is going to weed out some of the what we call muggles, right, from Harry Potter. So Gemini, just know that, and whatever is not working for you as far as relationship, make sure you are moving away from that. Maybe write about it, or think about in the future what relationships, what friendships you want to bring forward. And just be aware that maybe not everyone is really wishing you well right now, but you'll know who they are by the end of this week. Cancer. This is a great energy for connection for you. This is in your house of partnerships and networking, especially with business partnerships. So this is a great time like to go out and attend meetings, functions, go door knock if you're a realtor, or if you're in business, go network, go to the local, business meeting, or put yourself out there in the community. There's a great time for you guys to do that, Cancer. It's connection. Even on social media, make sure you're posting, doing a video, branch out, make yourself a trusted resource of knowledge and social media for Cancers. This is really a time when you're going to have that heartfelt connection with people, and they're really going to like that for you. Leo, this new moon activates your career and public reputation. So it's really all about setting your seeds, an intention for what you want to do with your career path and your occupation. This is how the public sees you. It is your life direction as far as public, how people perceive you, how they identify of what you are, like Joe the mechanic, Bill the landscaper, Mark the doctor, like what you do in the world. And with the new moon in Taurus activating this house of career and public reputation, this is a great time for you to work on your branding. If you're in a business, or if you have a hobby, if you have a side hustle, it's also a great time for you to go out and just make good impressions. If you're in a company and you are looking to get, a different position, or you're trying to impress your boss, this is the time. Take him to lunch, buy him the chocolate, buy him the little thing, go to the gym with him, do something, spend your break. This is where you really start to get that admiration and recognition that you deserve. And you also might want to make a new goal, for the next 30 days of how you're going to maybe dig into a project at work or something you really want to do. Virgos, this is a great time to sign up for something or take on a new activity or a project because you're really going to finish it this month. You're going to have a lot of energy with education and higher learning and projects and being able to finish and tie up those loose ends. And it's also a great time for you to do something, whatever the project is. It can be something relaxing. You always wanted to be a quilter or take karate or whatever it is. This is a month where if you take on something new, a little bit of a new direction of some kind that you've always wanted to do, it's going to be really rewarding and you're really going to be able to finish that. Even an online course, something that you're really interested in, but your higher education and, new experiences are really big for you. Libra, this is your house of shared resources and secrets. So this is about what do you share with a partner? What do you share with others? It's about being curious, asking a lot of questions so that you know what the information is. Maybe there's something you really want to learn about. It's a secret right now. It won't be by the end of the month. You're going to be very curious to learn it. You may also find that you have deadlines this month. You want to make sure you hit those deadlines. You want to make sure that you are being resourceful in the sense of keeping your eye on the ball, keep your ears open, because in this particular house of resources and secrets, things will come to light if you're really looking at the situation aware. You want to be awareness. Awareness is the thing here. Also for Librans this month, you want to seek out mentors and people who really can guide you to the information you're looking for. This isn't something that you would be doing by yourself this month. Whatever the project is or whatever this thing that you're trying to get revealed is, someone's going to help you do it. Scorpio, this activates your commitments in marriage. It's all about that time in future. It's a great time to discuss marriage, a great time to discuss partnerships of any kind, business. In a sky like this, a lot of Scorpions may get engaged or move in or cohabitate or have those conversations with somebody really about what the future holds. This is also a time to see if you are on the same page with your relationships and major partnerships. What do they expect in the future? Where is this business partnership going? Is it something that you're going to be leaving or something you need to merge with and attach with? This is a month of compromise for you. And it's going to be a month of truthful compromise. You're going to find out what the main characters in your life are really thinking in terms of what your friendships, partnerships, and relationships look like in the future. So Libra, really, this can be an amazing month either way. So let's see what comes out. I'd love to hear from Libras at the end of the month to see what's going to happen with them because it's going to be really interesting. So just checking the comments. So Aquarius. Okay. So Aquarius, this new moon in Taurus is all about your fourth house. It's all home and family, which is all about your safety and security. You're probably going to want to nest this month. So Aquarians, usually you want to branch out. Aquarians are always the ones who, they want to join the party for a couple hours and they want to go home and close the door. It's like they want to be in the village, but then they want to live outside the village. That's Aquarius energy. You want community, but you also want to be individual. So this month you're going to want to nest. You're going to be more with family and friends, and you're going to want to have those connections. You're home. You're going to be a homebody this month. Maybe for Aquarians this month, you do a little home improvement project. You want to be near the house. This is the month where you're going to start organizing your pictures, and you're going to, cook the dinner, and you're going to really want to maybe, barbecue and invite friends over. You're going to want that routine. You're going to want to laugh and enjoy quality time with those that you really love, which Aquarians can sometimes be a little bit detached. So this is going to be a really nice month for them in that energy. So plant those seeds for the Taurus new moon and see what happens. And then last but not least, we have Pisces. Pisces, this month, you're going to speak your mind. Pisces, this is in your solar house of communication. And so this is all about getting yourself out there. If you're a Pisces, you want to put yourself in front of as many people as you can this month. It's going to be really great for you. You may meet Ms. Right, Mr. Right, a business partnership. You may get a lot of business. You may just have a fun time. But this is really the month where you want to go out and go to those public meetings, advocate. You want to put yourself in front of people as far as who you need to be seen with. If you are in business and you need to be seen with public people or public figures, get yourself out there. If you are a mom, go volunteer at school. This is about being seen and being out there and really advocating also for change and being a little bit of a, forceful energy, an assertive energy this month, Pisces, as you speak your mind. So that is everyone. I don't think I forgot anybody. If I did, put it in the comments. Stephanie's saying she's the Cancer connection. Um, and then if anybody, I have like 5 minutes left on the show. If anybody's got any questions, put them in the chat. Um, Aaron says he finds it so funny how we are so similar. Well, that's because like our charts are like almost like opposite, Aaron. So that's why that's why you found me. Deneen says she's an Aquarius. Pluto's going to be in your sign. That's great. Cheryl planted her vegetable garden today. Cheryl, I want to hear from you because your garden is going to be so abundant this year if you're planting that on that new moon in Taurus. I did mine too, so we'll have to compare. Anne said she loved my interview on Tea Time. Thank you. That's still in the archives of Strong Island, so you can watch that on the YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel has all of my video on, so you can always, look up anything. We'll have playlists on there. I'm actually in the process of doing a whole new platform where you'll be able to find astrology, online classes. I'm going to be writing my blog again. I know how much you all loved my blog writing for years and years, and I got away from that a little bit. Haven't really done a lot of the blogs since COVID. We're going to put some of the older blogs up. We're going to have this beautiful community space for everybody. It's a really, really cool platform that I'm going to be launching. I can't wait for you all to see it. It'll probably be ready. We're hoping we're going to launch like beginning of June, if not before. I have a beautiful woman that I met online working on everything for me. She's from Vancouver. And she's just amazing. I've been meeting the most wonderful people through the internet. And it makes me feel so good in this Aquarius time when Pluto's in Aquarius. It's all about the internet, guys. And also artificial super intelligence, not just artificial intelligence. And one of the things that really learned this past few months, I've been on a mentor program with someone from Sweden and people from all over the world. In my Wednesday meetings up on Zoom, I've got people from South Africa and Sweden and Australia and all over the United States. And it's just been a really nice time that has made me realize how much the internet and certain platforms can really connect us in a beautiful, beautiful way. There's so much negativity out there, and this has been such an education for me and also shown me how I can use those same highways for all of us here at Zencuda and in the soul space. So you guys are going to get some really great stuff, I hope. And I'm going to get some really great stuff from you guys, too. Deneen says her vegetable garden is too much work. Her dad used to do it for me. So what I would say, Deneen, is like if you love gardening, like get some pots maybe and do that way. Some people just do that. I have a black thumb. My partner right now has a green thumb. So he's like really great at gardening and I just water, almost like I'm going to stay away because I might kill it. But I plant marigolds every year. And I actually, when the marigolds start to die in the fall, I take the seeds and my marigolds are the same marigolds every year. I like heirloom them. The reason I plant marigolds is they're such happy flowers. It's very hard to kill marigolds. They're just such sturdy plants. And I have big pots of them on my porch, and I have them all throughout my garden. They smell wonderful. They're just happy little plants. They're hard to kill. They love sun. And they bloom from like June till like into October. Marigolds are like the best thing ever. They're like great for people with like not green thumbs. So I appreciate all of you. I'll be back next Monday. Next Monday, we're going to talk a little bit more about relationships, and I'm going to tell you some little secrets that I found in the charts, and maybe we'll do some charts for you if you PM me your birth time with time and place, and we'll read some charts on the show next week. We're going to talk all about the Libra and Aries energy and relationships in the chart, and how when I read a chart, I can tell you all about your relationships. And in the meantime, you can find more videos on Zencuda on YouTube, Zencuda Soul Space on Facebook, and of course Zencuda Official on Instagram. And if you have any questions or topics that you want me to talk about on the show, leave a comment on my posts or comment on my page or send me a PM anywhere. You can also reach me by email, connect@zencuda.com. And I do live readings on Zoom anywhere in the world. So if you want one of those, just PM me or go on zencuda.com. And I'll see you guys all back here next Monday night, 7 o'clock in the soul space. Until then, make sure you enjoy this beautiful Taurus moon and use it to get in touch with your own soul spaces and what your own needs are. Thanks so much. See you next week.